Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends. And in today's video, I want to do a bit of a funsies video here today, especially since we're in the holiday period and we're rounding out the last days before the end of the year. And that means in January that it's very likely that we're going to be getting another Raid Shadow Legends collaboration event if they follow the same timeline as they did for 2025. Seems and I've only been playing the game for about a year now, but it does seem by looking back into 2024 and things like this that give or take that the timelines have been roughly accurate. Whether or not it's a full-blown like licensed collab or just a big large event where like this year's Alice in January where they had 5 or 6 characters that came out. I mean, it may not be like a limited time license that's never going to come back, but needless to say, there are these big events that come multiple times a year and specifically comes in January. So I am kind of expecting something to happen, and I want to talk about some of the things that could happen because, as you guys might know, the new faction is supposed to be released in early 2026. If I haven't been following every single raid content creator, especially the Plarium, the main ones there, as far as the details around the faction, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be coming pretty soon, which has this basically this like Greek kind of theme motif. So I kind of plugged in to ChatGPT. I know. Based on what we've had so far with Raid Shadow Legends, what could be likely to happen and come out in early 2026. So I want to talk about some of these, and there's also a few of them that you might particularly like. Now, before we get started with the rest of the video, I do want to remind people that you can use the QR code in the top right hand of the screen to make a new account and get yourself a free Legendary Narma the Returned, recently reworked, and these 3 amazing epic champions. Allure, Tagore, and Ruella at account level 10, 20, and 30. And don't forget to use the promo code Demon Slayer within the first 48 hours of a brand new account to get Tholen Falbeard. Okay, so let's talk about things. So first things first, I'm gonna zoom in a bit. I want to talk about what the number one prediction is, at least by ChatGPT. And what I did is I basically kind of outlined, just in case I didn't know, I outlined the previous collabs or major events that happened in 2024 and 2025. Now, keep in mind also, it was not a limited time release, but at the I think it was springtime, October, November ish of 2024, they had the Asgardian release. So that was all the gods that actually eventually end up coming to the Barbarian faction, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. They were all shoved into one faction, weren't they? Like so, we had Loki, we had Odin down here as the Void legendary. There, we had Freya, and we had Thor. So there was 4 characters for that. So gods, potentially could be on the table, especially Greek gods for this next one. But I thought it was interesting because the number, and I've heard this not even just on the Chat GPT, but I've heard this in Discord. Players, clanmates of mine have talked about how amazing this would be. Is God of War. Now, I'll be honest. I'm not. I don't really play those kinds of games, like the third-person kind of action games. Those are not really my thing. I know a little bit about it. I know that the main character is Kratos. Right. If I'm not mistaken, this was like the recent one. Was that the last one where he was an old guy and he had a son? That's what I remember. I never actually played these games, but I do recognize the characters, right? And so, how amazing would this be if we had this as basically the first sort of even fusion, maybe, for the new faction would be absolutely amazing. Now, as far as other characters in God of War, I know that you just fight the gods, right? Don't you fight like Ares and these other like Greek gods with Kratos? That's from what I know. So maybe they could find a way to introduce it that way. So Greek myth influences classic era before the Norse arc. Heavy combat, gods, monsters, perfect for champion design, big brand name with low fan base, visually rich material for skins, arena, summons events. Likelihood high is what they rate it. Now, I'm not super familiar with all the other characters though in God of War. Like I have not played it, like I said, so I think beyond the actual gods, there are some other characters that are also in it. Maybe someone can let me know, in the comments section. Like there's different versions of them, honestly, but the main character to release would be Kratos alongside some other characters, I suppose, either some gods or whatever. I'm not super familiar with this, but obviously this would be really cool. Now, one thing that I don't know is I don't know if this new Greek faction is going to be humanoids only, or is there a chance that we could get some monster type characters? Could we get like Greek themed monsters like a high wow, I forget what they're called in Greek, but is it like a Scylla? Basically, I know that we have Scylla the Drakes, but I mean, like as far as the appearances go, are they all going to be like bipedal on 2 feet, or is there a chance that we could get like some I don't know four-legged creatures or something like this that's a little bit different, right? A Hydra, like maybe a Greek Hydra version that's a little bit smaller and not like the Hydra clan boss, or just some other monsters that might have a different appearance. That would be pretty cool. The reason why I went on to Demon Spawn is because they actually have some pretty interesting looking champions, and so that's what I'm wondering is whether or not if this new one down here, the new one that's going to be coming out very soon, if that's just going to be a humanoid based faction or not. We'll have to see. Now, the second thing on the on the Chat GPT list was Percy Jackson and the Olympians. So this is interesting. They've never done a so far we've never seen a Disney collab, but I honestly at this point I think nothing's off the table. As soon as we got Aliens and Predator, I was like, what? So like even sci-fi stuff is on the table. So at this point, I mean, I guess as long as they can pay for the license, like anything is really possible. So I think now I haven't. I'm pretty sure there's a TV show going on right now, with on Disney Plus, of Percy Jackson. I don't watch it. I just I skim through my streaming services every now and then, and I think I saw something more newer or a commercial for this. So very recognizable, especially among younger players. Deeply rooted in Greek mythology, could bridge the lore between canonical myth and the Raid universe. Medium high. Now, again, I think this is more that they have connections to other characters in Greek mythology. It says Percy Jackson is the son of Poseidon, and some of the other characters that are in it are also sons and daughters of other gods. Annabeth Chase, daughter of Athena. There's a satyr, a satyr, is that how you say it? Luke Castellan, son of Hermes, son of Poseidon, half brother of Percy, and then we have like some other son of Kronos, right? I forgot the Titans, right? Hercules. There's so many characters that could actually be in. Son of Hades. Hey, maybe I'll actually go watch the show. I don't know. I need some more TV to watch. Talia is the daughter of Beryl Grayson's Zeus, right? So okay, so who knows, right? Maybe anything's possible. Daughter of Ares. Lots of gods and other god adjacent characters in this. As far as how they would look, well, they'll have to make it raid like, so that's always up to them. And they always usually do a pretty good job when it comes to characters. So maybe I don't know. Let's take a look at number 3. My head's blocking the way a little bit, so I'll remove the cam box here. Hercules slash Disney's Hercules. Now, that's also going to go alongside Percy Jackson, which I believe is also now maybe a Disney title. A nostalgic IP that's lighter but very iconic, mix of myth and family-friendly tone, fun potential for unique character interpretations. Now, I'm old enough for this, so you guys might not recognize, like this style, James Woods, Hades, this kind of stuff. Now, obviously, this is not Raid's style of graphics, right? So if this was to go inside of Raid, it would need to be more realistic, more 3D, and more on the level of what we saw with the Asgardian gods, right? Like this was really cool, and I'm sad that I missed this because I just started like a couple of months after this major event. So this is something that would be really cool. I mean, I would love to see like Kratos with all of this, but I mean, those are two different titles. And I don't know if you necessarily need a license for this because I highly doubt they're going to just take the Disney version, but they could just do I guess it's not like a licensed collab at this point, but they could just do the Greek gods, I suppose, and do a range of those. But maybe it's too early to do that. Maybe they'll wait and they'll do that another time. Zeus, Hades, Hera, was this Hera in the TV show? And then we had like a bunch of other the other gods beside. This was of course the Hercules Disney cartoon version of them, and there was all sorts of Zeus and all sorts of them here, right? Hades. I would love to see a James Wood Hades, but I don't know how likely that is going to be. Nonetheless, we are looking forward, I think without a doubt, we are going to be seeing something in the early new year, both with the faction and both with some major event that's probably going to happen. Now, Like I did another video on this like a couple of months, maybe a month or two ago, where I talked about Mortal Kombat. I would love to see Mortal Kombat, but I just don't think that's going to happen, and there's no way we can jive Mortal Kombat into a Greek themed faction. Did they give a name for that yet? I keep calling it the Greek themed faction, but I don't know if they actually gave a specific name for it yet. So let me know in the comments down below if you know a little bit more than me in terms of like the fine details about the faction. I actually haven't been keeping up with it too much, but it just made me start thinking about it, and especially as we kind of inch towards, I guess, the end of the collab for Aliens versus Predator, wherever that, I don't even know, it's not even on here anymore. But I mean, I guess the Predator Pass, the Champions Pass, is going to continue, but the Xenomorph, I believe, ends on December 26th. I think that's the last day where you can start the Xenomorph chase. And so, I mean, last year or this year even, we had the Alice chase, and this was early January as well. So I think if things line up like they did for this year, that we might see a similar schedule to next year, and I'm really hoping that's the case because I think that Plarium has really been knocking it out of the park with these events. Even if that's not a full blown licensed event, but we had the Alice in Wonderland crossover. In January, we had, I guess, the Edix R Tour, like free login champion, and then we had Lemonisi in this Chaos Awakes, which again was not a licensed event, but the TMNT, that was the Turtles knocked it out of the park. And even though it wasn't really a big crossover, I think that the Xenomorph and the Predator was still pretty fun. Anyway, so I am still interested to see what more comes with Raid Shadow Legends into 2026. I think it's been an amazing 2025 for the game, and I am super excited to see what else comes. But let me know in the comments down below what you think that they could do, what you think that I didn't talk about. What would you like to see kind of sticking with this new faction theme? Because that's kind of what I'm aiming at, is wondering if some of the characters for a next collab or whatever is going to take some characters from what might be this next faction. Let me know in the comments down below. Before we go, don't forget to download using the QR code in the top right. Make a new alt account. Get an Arma the Returned absolutely free. And these 3 amazing epics to start your journey off: Allure, Tagore, and my new favorite, Ruella, at accountants level 10, 20, and 30. And don't forget to use the promo code Demon Slayer to get the Tholin Foulbeard Legendary Dwarf DPS absolutely free within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. That's it for me, everybody. Have a great day, and I'll see you all on the next one. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.